Without a strong and inclusive central heart, a city tends to become a collection of interests isolated from one another. It falters at producing something greater, socially, culturally, and economically, than the sum of its separated parts. Jane Jacobs.
Well, I think downtowns to this day remain absolutely crucial, as they will into the future. They are the unique gathering spot for us as human beings. And the downtown is representative not only of the city or village, but of maybe a whole county or even counties. So it's a really crucial space where we still see, talk, and listen and love one another.
If we want to continue to think, and feel that we have a community, downtown is the place where we can feel that way.
The downtown district in Milan, prior to us becoming part of Main Street, was facing a lot of issues in terms of just vacancy and occupancy. That feeling of connection and of pride in the downtown had, for the present, had long since kind of dissipated. And so that was one of the biggest challenges that we were facing, how to recreate that connection to community and how to get businesses to fill the beautiful buildings that we had in our downtown.
Downtown's really kind of the heart and soul of the community, and that's because that's where the true community is. It's not the same uniform packaging you see everywhere else. It's where you see independent business owners. You see small business owners who are working every day. So we always joke that when you want to know where a place is, you go see where people take their wedding pictures and their senior pictures, and those places aren't out at the strip mall. They are downtown. They are in the hearts of our communities.
They're architecturally very interesting, some of the old ones. And the history of Boyne City, it's right up there with any cool city or town in the country. So I thought, when I read about the Main Street, I came upon it, and I thought, it was just very intriguing because it was very organized. It had an organized way of getting things accomplished.
A couple of us went to the National Main Street Convention, which was held in Detroit. Just attending that convention, coming back and talking with folks about some of the things that we'd learned there, that was really the key of learning what Main Street could offer.
Before we started the Main Street program, there was a vacancy rate in excess of 40%. And we had several storefront churches and a bait shop, and probably the most popular business in town at that time was Goodwill.
Our downtown was someplace that we loved and felt passionate about and felt like it was worthwhile investing in, but weren't quite sure how to necessarily go about making it all happen. And so the opportunity to connect with the formal Main Street program and follow their methods of how to rebuild a community, a downtown community, were very appealing to us.
The downtown provides sort of that natural building block of connectivity experience that you're able to have with neighbors, friends, work colleagues, what have you.
You have to have local professionals. You have to have a real grassroots volunteer effort, committed business owners, committed residents. So it's a constant puzzle that's never quite put together because the picture is always changing. But you really have to keep at it from a multi-tier process, I think, to ultimately have success in a really great downtown.
It's totally volunteer driven. You find people that are passionate about what they're doing, and it's very bottom up of here's what we're going to do. And you figure out a way, and it's insanely energizing and lots of fun to be a part of.
You have to have good volunteers. You have to have a focus of what you want to do. That focus, typically what we're seeing more and more of is being more oriented around economic development, about being more about helping small business owners and helping with the real estate pieces come into play for these communities, because it's really about how can we make these places make economic sense.
We started by working on an inventory of all the buildings, all the square footage that we had retail. It really gave us a good sense of what we had here and what we had to work with.
I think the relationship between the city and the Main Street is very strong, and I think that's a real important dynamic to have. We try and complement each other, make sure that we know what each other is doing.
It's so much more impressive when you have a community-driven process with Main Street as an example, where business owners are going to recruit other business owners, property owners are going to recruit other property owners. It's not just the city staff who benefit from the tax dollars doing all this stuff. It's the actual citizens and the residents of the community doing the work.
to see the buildings, the transformations of buildings that had been dilapidated become new and lively again, to see them fill up with businesses, to see people come back downtown and want to participate in events that were happening in the downtown or shop in our downtown. That feeling was amazing to watch, to feel. It was palpable. You could hear and feel the excitement and enthusiasm of people in our town.
And so a lot of it just has to do with evolving. And I think downtowns overall have done an excellent job since really the early 1930s and 1940s, moving into the Interstate Highway Act, to Walmart's, regional malls, big box, and certainly the Amazon age. But downtowns have always been understanding of sort of who they are, what makes them unique within the marketplace, and then how to leverage that in order to be competitive.
It was a lot of learning about ourselves and an important exercise in learning what we needed to do in order to develop our strength as a community. It really gave us a blueprint for some of the work that would come in the years after joining the Main Street program.
Some of the results have been economic growth in our downtown as the small businesses realize what their opportunities are and the training and guidance that they receive from Niles Main Street.
It's allowed things like this building that houses Cafe Sante in it and a number of other businesses to be an extension and an authentic feeling extension of our downtown and our community as well.
For the most part, downtowns are the hub of the local economic base of our communities.
Well, in the 20 years that we've been doing it, we've had new buildings, this one being one of them. Our schools have benefited. We've gotten more factories, more larger corporations have decided to move here.
The results of joining Niles Main Street is the continued growth of business, continued economic development, driving more people to our downtown district, and ultimately bringing more people to experience Niles and what we have to offer.
We have 44 storefronts in the downtown area. 27 of those 44 undergone significant renovations. That's 2/3 of in just an 8-year period.
It's a partnership. It's built on collaboration and mutual support, and Niles Main Street carries out that goal.
It has to be so grassroots driven. It needs to be participated at all levels of local and state levels. It is something that is almost in continuous evolution. It has to be very nimble and bring so many different stakeholders together to really be successful.
The downtown spaces are where community gathers. It's the location, it's the businesses, it's the people. It brings everything together and gives everyone the opportunity to get the best out of their community.
It's really important that we're providing these spaces for entrepreneurs to be successful, and that we're providing these spaces for new homeowners and for folks who are looking to get into real estate and to be able to have solid investments around those real estate opportunities in downtowns.
If you want to see your Main Street kind of return back to life, it's just something that I would highly and strongly recommend for any community out there to consider pursuing.
The energy and organization that it brought to us and the DDA has been very rejuvenating. The additional benefits that the state program brought, like the help with technical issues and branding and programming, have been huge.
It's very important to find ways to build on our traditional downtown and keep traditional downtowns alive and vibrant, and the Main Street program does that.
It's got a proven model of success. It's been instrumental in the growth of Niles for more than 20 years, and other main streets across the country for more than 40 years. They have a proven track record, and it's an amazing program to be a part of.
Gives you the tools that you need, the framework that you need, and the focus that you need to really enhance and achieve the goals that the community has set out for itself.
I think that it's important that communities pay attention to the success of their downtowns, and the Michigan Main Street program is certainly one of the things that will help any community be better at strengthening that economic vitality of their community.
I don't think the value of Niles Main Street can be overstated. We've got hefty goals of bringing people downtown, bringing new businesses downtown, increasing economic vitality, and Niles Main Street is just the organization that carries out those goals.
And Main Street provides sort of both the forum for discussion about what's the future hold for the downtown and for the community, but also the vehicle, the organizational structure to make that happen, to actually execute. You know, Main Streets are looking, what's the trends, what's happening within the sort of that outside the bubble of our local community that's impacting the community, and how do we sort of relate to that?
It's engaging with your community and having your community rebuild itself. They know best what they're going to support, and quite frankly, when they do it, it always engages people outside of your immediate community to come.
The Main Street approach is organizationally bringing that grassroots effort together, all the different organizations, and making sure that the many lanes of a single highway are all pointed in the right direction. And there's no better program in the United States than the Main Street program to do that.